Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Icy and thank you for coming to check out this video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Conjuration from Hunter x Hunter. And before we get into it, please hit that like and subscribe button. It would mean so much to me. But yeah, let's get straight into it. So Conjuration in Japanese actually means Gugenkakai. Now this doesn't exactly translate back into Conjuration. It actually translates back into embodiment system. And I think that's a pretty good description. So I'm going to end the video there. I'm just kidding. Anyway, let's actually get into the video. And to start off, we're going to be going with water divination. Now, this is a test I've talked about many times. It is when a user forces his or her nen into a cup, and whatever the result is, that's what user type you are. And if impurities appear in the water, then that user is a conjurer. Now, Hisoka, he describes conjurers as high-strung, overly serious, stoic, and or nervous. They are often on guard as to be cautious, and they are very observant and logical, rarely falling into traps. And they are able to calmly analyze things, and that is the strength of conjurers. Many items that the conjurers create are often used by them in a very practical fashion. And Furikov describes conjurers as having a strong aura around the part of their body that activates their favorite abilities and having a much gentler flow everywhere else. Just like manipulators, they will prefer to keep their dominant hand free. Now those are all well and fine, but as I always mention with Hisoka and Furikov's tests, they are generalizations and are in no way a fact, and Hisoka himself even said that his is not 100% foolproof. But so I'm sure at this point you're asking yourself, what is conjuration? Conjuration is intended as the ability to create physical independent material object out of one's aura. However, users of this category can also create laws and principles and affix them to a specific area. These are known as limitations. However, I should mention they aren't exclusive to conjurers. The durability of a conjured object can generally be taken as a measure of the user's skill, although conditions can be used to strengthen. Objects constructed can sometimes have an independence, meaning that they have the potential to stay active while the user is some distance away. Once a user has mastered the materialization of a certain object, they can conjure and dispel it at an instant, whenever they want. However, even if one were to completely master this nen type, there would still be objects that they could not materialize. For instance, swords that can cut anything, or anything really that goes beyond human capacity. Izanavi vaguely described this as the inability to conjure ability objects overly supernatural. Sorry for the tongue twister there. However, conjured items can indeed possess special talents. For instance, Shizuku is able to conjure a vacuum cleaner that can infinitely suck up objects, but with the condition that it cannot suck up living things or items made out of nen. Similarly to manipulation, conjuration abilities tend to be very specific, complex, and conditional. Conditions can be imbued into conjured objects to make them stronger. Kotopi, for example, is able to materialize a perfect inanimate copy of any object or person that he touches. However, the copies of all the objects generated will automatically disappear after 24 hours. By resorting to limitations, a conjurer can take their ability a step further and materialize objects with properties that can come even closer to exceeding human capacity, although they cannot surpass it. Conjuration is the only way in which nen creators can make things that non-users can see and touch, unless they are hidden from the senses within. Alternatively, conjurers can create abilities whose constructs are invisible to non-users and even specific nen users, to the point that the only one person may be able to perceive them. However, the fewer people are able to see a conjured construct, the more energy required therein, increasing the amount of aura expanded. As with all nen types, there is a strength potential chart that was listed in the show that I will be going over now. Conjuration with 100% strength potential, transmutation with 80% strength potential, specialist with 1% strength potential, enhancement with 60, and manipulation with 60, emission with 40% strength potential. And those are the 6. Typically you won't see a conjurer use anything but transmutation and occasionally specialist. The others are really weak and it's kind of pointless to use those. But yeah, that pretty much does it for the video. As I said at the beginning, please hit that like and subscribe. And one more thing before you click off of this video, please go follow my good friend Udal Draws on Instagram. She's the one that made this new profile picture for me that's right here. She makes all kinds of things. She makes all kinds of drawings, and she even has an editing account for AMVs if you guys want to follow that as well. She's a really good artist and I like what she does, so if you guys would follow her, it'd mean the world. Anyway, it's been Icy.